Hi, this is Nigel Maynard, Editor-in-Chief of Drugstore News, coming to you from West Palm Beach at NACDS Annual 2023. I'm with Leon Nicholas, VP of Retail Insights and Solutions from Westrock. Leon, how are you?
I'm great. Nice to see you again.
I know, we were here last year.
We were here last year, beautiful sunshine, and we've got the same thing
Still
again.
the same, right?
The same thing. You'd almost think it was nothing had changed.
Right.
But,
so we were back at Annual for the first time in a while because of COVID. And you and I sat down and talked, and there were some big things happening within the space. And there are some big things happening again. So what have you noticed, generally speaking, from last year to now?
yeah, it's a good question. I think one of the biggest things is the role of inflation. You know, you've seen inflation kind of, since we last talked, sort of rise, maybe hit a peak, and it's slowly coming down. But the shopper's pretty aware of it, pretty wary, you know, of making spending decisions since then, and is still adjusting to an environment where those prices aren't going back to where they were in 2018, 2019. And so you're having that. But I would say, as a big picture, I would say we're also seeing some changes occur across what I would call some of the fundamentals of retailing. Those fundamentals for me include in-store merchandising is one big area that is shifting fundamentally. The second would be kind of the broader topic of e-retail and digital retailing and e-commerce, et cetera. That has certainly moved forward. And then third would be the provision of services in the store. Big changes around retailers' investments around food services, health services, and some other service areas that are changing the game.
But let's tackle store merchandising. What's happening within store merchandising that you've seen that's important going forward?
Yeah, I think that what I would say is we're seeing today retailers really make visible distinctions in their stores between the parts of the stores that are trying to provide access to convenience. Think about it as ease and speed and moving people through sort of a fast nickels kind of an approach. The idea is that that's part of the store where you don't want the shopper to spend too much time, or the shopper doesn't want to spend too much time. Really making a distinction in a visible way between that part of the store and the part of the store where we're saying, actually, we want you to slow down. We want you to speed things up over here, but in some cases, slow things down over here where it's more experiential, it's more about engaging with the consumer and slowing down that pattern. But what's interesting is at the same time they're making that distinction in the store, they're also looking for the opportunity for that shopper to cross the box. So think about it as, we're going to help you save time over here so that you can spend more time over here.
So what would be an example of a slow area versus an area of quick procession?
Yeah, so a slower area for retail might be, say, video games or toys or home improvement, those kinds of areas. Really getting the shopper where it's a more considered decision, it's a more discretionary purchase oftentimes, really getting that shopper to consider that purchase and hopefully upsell. Versus, say, we'll say breakfast cereal, for example, where look, that shopper has got a list and they're really just trying to move through that list as rapidly as possible. We're seeing very different merchandising standards in those two places, but in a way that is visible to the consumer. So the consumer gets the idea that, oh, I'm supposed to speed things up over here, and oh, look over there, I can spend more quality time. I would say the other thing we're seeing across in merchandising is an upgrade of standards. Even in those retailers that you might consider to be discounters or focusing on a real value proposition, we're seeing in-store things like fixtures, lighting, color, merchandising that is more permanent in those parts of the store, really kind of across the board, and that's changing the game. And then the third thing is, what I think about is just agility and flexibility. We're seeing retailers move with greater agility now through seasons or through need occasions, and really be able to transform a store or a department in a store, I won't say overnight, but over the course of a couple of days, reasonably rapidly from one season to the next, and therefore bringing some excitement to the store. But I think about that as rotational agility. the capacity to rotate in and out of seasons more quickly than I think we've seen in a long time, and therefore placing back upon manufacturers and those of us who supply those manufacturers with the need to be a lot more flexible and a lot more able to move versus kind of the set it and forget it kind of perspective, a lot more agility.